boyfriend told to keep up with my body. My 35 boyfriend, 35M, told me he wants me to keep up with my body because he is a high-value man. I moved into my boyfriend's apartment only 1 week ago, and it feels like I've walked straight from my own life into a twisted, disorienting world. When we started dating 6 months back, I was enamored with his confidence. He always seemed self-assured, had a good job, and appeared to take pride in personal growth. He liked eating well, working out, dressing sharply, and making plans that reflected a clear direction for his future. At the time, I believed I'd found a partner who would not only be proud of me for being equally driven, but also respect my independence and opinions. The reality now could not be more different. Initially, things appeared to be going well. He told me that he admired my athletic physique and said he found my curves sexy. Those compliments made me feel confident. I'm 15 pounds over my normal body mass index range, but that has never been an issue in my life. My weight has never fluctuated wildly, and I consider myself someone who is generally health conscious. I work out regularly, pay attention to my diet, and live an active lifestyle. Before we got serious, he always said things like, "You're so beautiful, I can't get enough of you," and "I love your body just the way it is." Hearing those words made me trust that he was accepting me for who I am. At first, he kept pressing me to move in with him. The idea was that we'd both save money, streamline our daily routines, and effectively test the compatibility of living under one roof. I worked, and continue to work full-time, so I never went into this arrangement expecting financial handouts out. But he insisted that I live at his place without paying rent, utilities, or any major bills. He claimed this was a way for us to invest in each other. Being naive, I appreciated the offer. I thought, oh, that's generous. He wants to support me so that I can put my extra money into savings or do something constructive for my future. He even mentioned that with the money I saved, I could invest in a small side business or maybe even plan for something bigger down the line. Fast forward to now. As soon as I stepped through his front door with my boxes and suitcases, it's like a new person emerged. He started telling me what to wear. "That top is too revealing. Don't leave the house like that, or wear something more feminine so that when we're out, it looks like we match." The first couple of times, I brushed it off as him just wanting to share an opinion, but then it escalated. He began insisting I style my hair the way he liked. "You should straighten your hair today. I prefer that look on you." He also kept hinting that I shouldn't go out alone. "Let me drive you where you need to go, or wait until I'm home so we can leave together." There were moments it felt almost sweet if I ignored the bigger picture. After all, some people find it endearing when their partner wants to be around them constantly. But then he started asking me to cut off my friends, saying they were a bad influence, or they didn't align with my new lifestyle. If I tried to make a coffee date with a close friend, he'd somehow talk me out of it. "But why would you go out when you can just stay here and enjoy our time together? I'm a high-value man, so you should adapt to my schedule, not the other way around." And these comments made me realize something far darker was at play. It's not about wanting to be close to me. It's about controlling me. It's about bending my life to fit his notion of how things should be, rather than us meeting halfway. The last straw came when he casually remarked that I should stop eating dinner. It wasn't a shy suggestion either. He literally said, "You need to drop a few pounds. I'm a high-value man, and I have the right to be picky when it comes to the women in my life." I was so taken aback that I think I just stared at him for a good minute, trying to see if he was joking. He wasn't. He was dead serious. And then he doubled down, explaining that I should be grateful he's letting me stay in his home for free, that this is the price of being looked after by a man of his caliber. Keep in mind, I'm not someone who's dependent on him financially. I have a stable job. I pay my bills, and have always carried my own weight in relationships. Yet, here he is, making me feel like I'm somehow obligated to change my appearance, cut ties with my friends, and essentially give up my autonomy just because he deems himself some sort of catch. Let me be clear, he is not a millionaire. He does okay for himself, and I'll give him credit for being stable, but to go so far as labeling himself high value makes me cringe. The entitlement is staggering. When he told me to stop eating dinner, a million thoughts raced through my mind. Is this a test of how obedient I'll be? Does he think I'm some accessory he can mold to his liking? What else will he try to control? My heart sank because nothing about my physique has changed since we started dating. I'm the exact same person he once called gorgeous, sexy, and irresistible. This bizarre shift makes me suspect that all the earlier praise might have been an act designed to lure me in. Out of confusion and desperation for a grounded perspective, I called my mother to explain the situation. Her response was immediate and chilling. "You need to leave. That man is dangerous. He is exhibiting psychopathic tendencies. Run before it gets worse." My mom is typically calm and rarely jumps to extremes. She's the type to weigh all angles, ask clarifying questions, and offer measured advice. So for her to declare him a dangerous psychopath was alarming. She's worried that his controlling nature could escalate into something more serious. Verbal abuse or, in the worst cases, physical harm. To make matters worse, every day since that conversation, he's grown bolder. It's as if he feels like he's got me in his trap, and now he can let the mask slip entirely. He'll stare me down if I'm cooking myself any substantial meal. He'll question me about everything I did that day if he wasn't with me. Who did you talk to? Where did you go? How long were you out for? It's constant surveillance. If I didn't know better, I'd think I was living in some kind of messed-up spy thriller where the main character is perpetually monitored. I find myself feeling a weird mixture of fear and anger. I'm angry that he's trying to sabotage my friendships and my healthy habits. I'm angry that he's making me doubt my own worth. I'm angry that I didn't see it sooner. But fear keeps creeping in because I'm living under his roof, and he's starting to show signs of having a temper. When he's frustrated, he'll slam doors, mutter under his breath, or give me these cold stares that make my skin crawly. My gut is screaming that if I push back too hard while I'm still here, he might snap. I want to clarify something for anyone reading who might question why I'm not just walking out the door. I'm working, yes, but I need a bit of time to find a new place. Apartments don't materialize overnight, especially ones that fit my budget and location needs. Additionally, moving all my things out of here needs to be timed carefully. If he catches wind that I'm planning to leave, who knows how he'll react. I'm trying to handle this in a way that keeps me safe while I strategize my exit. Frankly, I'm also dealing with emotional whiplash. 6 months ago, I was on cloud 9, thinking this man was everything I'd ever wanted. He showered me with compliments, planned sweet dates, and paid attention to all those little details that make you feel cherished. Now, he's basically made me into an object he wants to display, a shape he wants to carve to his liking. It's difficult to reconcile the man I fell for with the man who's now demanding I skip meals. I've also heard from mutual acquaintances that he's always been a bit opinionated. But I never heard anything about this level of control. Maybe they knew but didn't think it was their place to warn me. Or maybe they saw what I saw at first. A charming, successful guy who seemed to have his life together. It's easy to be fooled when someone is presenting an illusion, and it's incredibly difficult to come to terms with the idea that you've become a pawn in someone else's twisted game. This leads to the overarching question. Am I overreacting? Sometimes I lie in bed at night, doubting myself. Am I making mountains out of molehills? Is it really that bad? Maybe he's just stressed out and he'll go back to normal soon. But deep down, I know better. A man who truly cares about you doesn't police your diet or your relationships. A man who respects you doesn't demand that you alter your appearance to suit his preferences. This isn't about a temporary mood swing or a misunderstanding. This is who he is revealing himself to be. I think what's most haunting about all of this is how quickly it escalated. It literally started within days of me moving in. He pulled me in with promises and compliments, and the moment I was physically in his space, he began to strip away my autonomy. That's something I think everyone should be wary of when entering a relationship. If someone seems too perfect, pay attention to how they handle even the smallest disagreements or boundaries. If they can't handle no for an answer, that's a monumental red flag. I've now started the process of looking for a new apartment. Even though I'll have to break this lease-like arrangement, which is just an understanding since I'm not on his lease, I've decided my safety and well-being are more important than any potential financial loss or convenience. I'm also being extremely careful. I don't want him to suspect I'm planning to leave because I've seen how quickly he can switch moods. One day he's controlling and condescending, and the next day he's sweet as pie, offering to cook me breakfast or buy me a small gift. It's as if he's trying to keep me off balance, maybe hoping I'll stay trapped in the cycle of confusion. I've been in relationships before, and never have I experienced anything like this. Sure, everyone has disagreements. Maybe someone prefers the thermostat set at a certain temperature, or there's a bit of tension over how to decorate the living room. That's normal. But being told not to eat, how to do my hair, who I can talk to, that's a massive, blaring siren. It's more than a red flag. It's a big neon sign that says, "Get out now before it gets worse." My mother's words keep echoing in my head. He's a dangerous psychopath. That might sound extreme to some, but having lived with him for a week under these conditions, I can't help but agree there's something very wrong. The manipulation tactics, the sense of entitlement, and the complete disregard for my individuality all point to a serious personality issue, narcissism at best, and something more sinister at worst. I refuse to stick around and become a cautionary tale, or worse, end up in a situation that puts my mental or physical health at serious risk. Perhaps the most confusing part is that there's still a small piece of me that's heartbroken over the loss of what I thought this relationship could be. 6 months isn't an incredibly long time, but we packed a lot of intensity into those months. I imagined a future of traveling together, building a home, maybe eventually starting a family. He fed me lines that painted a picture of an amazing life, if I just trusted him. And I did. It's a sobering reminder that words can be cheap, and you truly need to see someone's behavior over time, and especially under stress, before you can determine who they really are. I also understand I'm fortunate in the sense that I have a support system. My mother is there for me. My friends, the ones he tried to get me to abandon, have shown up for me in ways that remind me how crucial real love and care can be. One friend has offered me her spare bedroom until I find a proper apartment. Another friend has called every day to check on me. These are the kinds of relationships that actually add value to your life. A high-value man wouldn't demand isolation. He'd appreciate that you have people who love you, because that in turn allows you to be a more complete and happy person. So, as of now, my plan is clear. I will find a new place as quietly and quickly as possible. I will keep a calm face around him, continue to give him the impression I'm on board with his rules so that I can leave without drama. Trust me, I have zero intention of staying under his roof or abiding by these ridiculous conditions. I'm just playing along until I can securely exit. It's terrifying to imagine the confrontation if he catches on. I've noticed him asking more questions about my finances. Are you sure you're not spending money somewhere else? And prying into my text messages. He's probably sensed my emotional detachment, but I've grown skilled at pretending everything's fine, thanks to this disturbing week of tiptoeing around him. People underestimate how quickly you can learn survival skills when you feel threatened. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that this experience will shape my boundaries for future relationships. I will never again ignore signs of controlling behavior. I will never assume that someone's grand gestures mean they have my best interests at heart. I will trust my instincts when that subtle discomfort creeps in toward. If something feels off, it probably is. For anyone who might be in a similar predicament, please take heed. If a partner tries to control your diet, your appearance, your friends, these are not just harmless quirks. They are massive indicators that the relationship is not built on mutual respect. A partner who values you does not strip you of your identity. A partner who respects you does not isolate you from your loved ones. And the minute someone starts telling you that you should be grateful because they're a high-value man or woman, run. True self-worth doesn't need to be thrown in anyone's face, and it definitely isn't used as a weapon to control another person.